Have you ever looked through old songs on your computer and thought, I could probably make something fresh out of these, but wasn't sure where to start? Well, today I'm going to show you exactly how to take tracks you've already written and turn them into something completely new. Hey guys, Miami here, and in today's video, I'll be walking you through how to recycle your existing songs and transform them into fresh ideas. Whether it's a track you've never released or just a riff that's been sitting in your hard drive, these techniques will help you breathe new life into them. Do you know why musicians don't throw away their old tracks? Because with a few tweaks, they can refresh them into hits. Let's dive in and start building something epic from the tracks you already have. When turning old ideas into new ones, you'll be doing a lot of chopping, key changes, and tone adjustments. When working with guitars, it's super important to use the DI track to create new parts. Why? Because if you use a pitch shifter after the amp, it tends to sound pretty bad, like this. But when you pitch shift the DI before it hits the amp, you get a much more natural sound, like this. It sounds better, but there's still room for improvement. You can take this sound and turn it into this with some simple EQ moves. First, load an EQ after the pitch shifter, but before the amp. Then cut the muddy frequencies between 200 and 400 Hz and boost around 1500 Hz to add clarity. Pro tip, the more you detune the signal, the more aggressive your EQ cuts in boost should be. And don't forget to play around with amp settings. When using lower tunings, it's common to make small adjustments to the amp controls to add a little more clarity. The chorus is one of the most important parts of a song, so it needs to be catchy and memorable. A great way to achieve this is by experimenting with one of your favorite choruses. Take this Conquer Divide chorus for example. It's made up of 4 upbeat chords, but I want my new track to be slower and more relaxed. I've sliced the guitars into 4 samples, 1 for each chord. To make it fresh, I'll rearrange the chords, pitch them down by 2 semitones, and stretch the samples to fit the new tempo. Here's the result. Now, it just needs some drums to finish the arrangement. Now's the perfect time to build a riff after the chorus. I'm looking for something groovy. To build this next part, I'm using samples from our latest pack, Riff Vault, Architects of Djent. It's loaded with riffs, breakdowns, chord progressions, and more, all designed to be torn apart and pieced back together, so you can create whatever you imagine. I really like this riff, but I just want to change a couple pieces. I'm going to grab parts from another riff and join them together. All done. Sounds pretty cool, right? Let's just get those drums added to keep the energy going. With the intro riff and chorus done, it's time to build the verse. I'm going back to the Conquer Divide stems because there are some great chuggy parts in the second verse and breakdown. Here's what they sound like. I'll use these to create something new for my track, following the same puzzle building method as before. I've also written the drums to match the guitar kicks, giving each note more impact. Oh yeah, this is really starting to come together. Let's move on to the final section. Now, would this really be JST if I didn't write a breakdown? You know I'd never forget that. I'm switching back to Architects of Djent to dig through the breakdowns. I like these two the most, so I'm going to fuse them together to create something heavy and groovy. Here's what I came up with. sounds pretty cool, so let's throw in some big drums and add a lead guitar to finish it off. Now that's what I'm talking about. And just like that, I've taken parts from old tracks and turned them into something completely new. This method is all about recycling what you already have, tweaking it, and building something fresh. The best part? You can use this approach again and again to create endless new songs. And it's not exclusive to just guitars either. You can do this with percussive loops, synth leads, pads, and so much more. Remember, the magic often comes through experimenting. Don't be afraid to chop up parts, switch things around, or try something totally different. With this method, making adjustments is easy. It's just a matter of dragging and dropping until you find the perfect fit. Let's quickly recap what we covered today. We started by discussing the building blocks of reusing old tracks, making pitch changes and tone adjustments to build a solid foundation. Then we created a fresh chorus by slicing and rearranging guitar samples to match our vibe. Next, we built a groovy riff using samples from Architects of Djent, combining different parts to make something new. We followed that with a verse, using chuggy guitar sections and matching the drums to the guitar kicks for extra punch. Finally, we ended with a heavy breakdown, fusing 2 breakdowns from Architects of Djent and adding big drums and lead guitars to wrap this all up. These techniques are all about experimenting and transforming old ideas into something fresh. If you like the sound we used today, be sure to check out the Architects of Djent sample pack. It's loaded with riffs, breakdowns, and effects to keep your creativity flowing. You can find the link in the description below.
Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, hit that like button. Don't forget to check the links in the description below and subscribe for more mixing tips. Until next time, happy mixing.